know when we get started. But this is not positioned right then.
Well, then get it positioned.
Gosh.
What a cold open.
Should I leave that in? Well, hi friends, it's me again, finally back for another episode to resurrect the Faith Stuff and Pixie Dust podcast. As we've lovingly been saying around our home, the podcast has just been under refurbishment, but I just felt like it was time to dive into something creative, add something joyful and fun into the mix, on top of everything else we're doing in family life. Just in time to talk about an exciting new release from Pixar. Today's episode, we will dive into all things Toy Story 1 through 4 and give some of our thoughts about Toy Story 5 before we actually see it. Now, we'll be doing a part 2 review of sorts, but today we're going to dive into the first 4 movies of the Toy Story franchise. Enjoy! I have 9 pages of notes.
Front and back?
No, just one-sided. I just printed one-sided.
That's better. Okay.
Joel said, "You have a lot of work papers." I said, "Yeah, I do."
It will be fun to have Joelle on.
She knows that we have the Toy Story podcast, though. The Pondcast. Was that a kid check?
No, it was a burp.
Oh.
If you must know.
I'm definitely leaving that in here.
I just have a blank Gemini window up in case you try to stump me.
In case I try to stump you.
I'm going to put it on flash.
Disney trivia. Okay, well, I am going to record the intro later, just so you're not sitting there staring at me. But stop. For the first podcast back after the resurrection, the first podcast back, we're talking about. Do you want to do a drum roll? I'm looking to you to introduce it.
I have no notes, so I'm not sure.
Toy Story, because you're going to see Toy Story 5 this week without me. But it's okay, because it's a daddy-daughter date, so I will allow it. And it's Father's Day weekend, so it's appropriate that you would take Joelle to see it. It's fine. Whatever. I did buy the book, you know that. The children's book. But I made a rule that we can't read it until after we see it. I might read it, though. I'll either read that or spoilers. You know I will.
I don't understand that part about you, but okay.
You know what? I'm not the only person like that who will look up spoilers of a movie before seeing it because I want to know if I'm going to enjoy it or not. I won't enjoy it if I don't know if it's not going to end well or something weird's going to happen. Like, I want to be fully prepared so I can fully enjoy.
I know you're not the only person like that. I just think I don't understand that.
Okay. Well, anyway, welcome back to the podcast. I thought we'd talk about the first 4 Toy Story movies because let's just be real. They are all amazing. I was trying to think today which one was my favorite, and I think I do have a favorite, and I'll share that later on, but they're all so good. Even rewatching them with kids is even better now, honestly. I thought, just in case anyone out there is listening to a podcast about Toy Story but hasn't seen them, and also just for us to talk about the movie plot overviews. So, starting with Toy Story 1.
You're not going to say spoiler alert?
Well, okay.
It's been 31 years.
31 years. I mean, I figure, like, if it's kind of like if you haven't even seen The Office or something, like, I can spoil that for you, like, whatever. When did Toy Story 1 come out? Do you know? Don't look it up.
95.
1995. Did you know that without looking it up?
Yes, because I just told you 31 years.
Fair. Okay. I wouldn't have been able to do the mental math that fast, but you can. Okay, so Toy Story 1, Woody is, we meet Woody. He's Andy's favorite toy, and he's kind of the leader of the room until Andy receives a flashy new toy. New toy is Mitchell.
Tim Allen
as
Buzz Lightyear
action figure for his birthday. And Woody's jealousy kind of leads to all sorts of chaos, but it kind of leads to Woody, not Andy, Woody trying to sabotage Buzz a little bit, throws him out the window, and they end up getting lost. And Woody's like, well, crap, I've got to save Buzz to save my place in the room because no one's going to like me for doing that to the new toy or whatever. So anyway, it's this escapades of Woody and Buzz going at each other until they finally realize they have to work together to get back to Andy. Anyway, leads us to Toy Story Would you anything for Toy Story 1? I mean, there's lots more that happens. We'll talk about it, but to just give an overview of the basic plot.
I think it's also Buzz figuring out that he's not better than everyone else.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about this too more, but he also for a lot of that movie thinks he's an action figure. Like doesn't know he's an action figure. Thinks he's actually a space ranger.
Very true.
That's a huge part of that movie is like he realizes, "Oh, I'm just a toy." But are you just a toy?
Because he doesn't want to be just a toy. He needs to be a space ranger.
Yes. Yeah.
But understand that just a toy is good enough.
Is actually really significant. Yes. Okay. So it ends with them being friends and realizing there's room for both of them. Anyway, so we go into Toy Story 2, which is what year? Do you know?
99.
You looked that one up, didn't you?
Well, no, I knew there was going to be a test.
Oh, okay. So you had,
but also I knew that.
You had Gemini look it up. Wow. Okay. So the second movie, Woody is supposed to go to cowboy camp, and it's actually devastating. He gets ripped. His arm gets ripped a little bit, and his mom, Andy's mom, being responsible as she is, makes him leave Woody at home. Would you have made a child leave a toy at home that had gotten a little ripped like that, or would you have let him go to cowboy camp?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because if he lost his whole arm, what do you do? I don't know. Anyway, so Woody has to stay home, and through a series of events, he gets stolen by Al, a toy collector, and finds out that he is not just a toy, but he was a national phenomenon, as he says, from the show. What's the show?
Woody's Roundup.
Do you want to sing the song for us?
No, it's okay. I don't have a license.
But he's really faced with the movie introduces Jessie and Bullseye, which is fantastic, and the saddest song in Pixar history, I think, When Somebody Loved Me. Saddest song. But what a gift that song has been to all of us. But Woody is faced with this dilemma of, do I go back to Andy's room where I belong, where part of me feels like I belong, or do I go to this fancy toy museum where no child will ever hurt me and no child will ever leave me and kids will just come and love me and admire me from a box, from a glass box for the rest of my life. So we really see Woody kind of face a huge dilemma. But we're going to dive into all of these movies individually. So I know I see thoughts ticking in your head, but we're just going 40,000 view right now.
Cool.
But Woody decides not to, and they all go back to Andy's room, and it's just introducing Jessie and Bullseye to their whole gang, which is great because then Jessie and Buzz can fall in love. Which plot twist? Did you see that coming?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't see Buzz getting. But
it wasn't. It was Buzz's
love
Spanish
interest?
mode.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
That's the next movie, though.
So that's perfect segue into Toy Story 3, which is what year, Mitchell? You already looked this up. It's not fun anymore.
But it is 11 years later.
It's 11 years later. So Andy is now 17, which, whoa. Do you remember seeing Toy Story 3 for the first time? Because I don't remember seeing any of the first two, but I remember seeing Toy Story 3 for the first time.
I don't remember watching it the first time, but
I was in the theaters with my brothers, and I remember the fact that Andy was so much older. Like 2010, how old would I have been? 17, teenager. So probably around Andy's age. And I just thought it was so funny. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. I just remember I don't know. I remember the 11-year gap between the two movies being really kind of interesting to see. But anyway, he's packing up going to college. So it wouldn't have been that far off from me packing up going to college. And Tyler must have been home from college because I remember seeing it with them. But anyway, Buster comes in. Do you remember seeing Buster comes in and he's all old and fat? Can't run anymore. Like that was just their dog. That was just really funny. I don't know. It was just really funny. And his mom's making him go through his room and he has this dilemma of what's he going to do with his toys. So he decides to take Woody to college, which is there a toy that you would have taken to college?
I don't think so, but I didn't really have toys that I was attached to like that.
Oh, dang. That's sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about this. I don't think I brought any toys with me to college. Did I have any at Belmont?
Not that I know
No,
of.
I had my baby blanket, which I still have, but I didn't have a toy really. Interesting. Anyway, so through a series of events, the toys get donated to Sunnyside Daycare because they think that will be better. Really, this is Jessie's fault. I'm just going to say it. Because Jessie thought it would be better to go be at a daycare than be in the attic. And I'm just saying she should have stayed in the attic because you know what? Andy would have come back for those toys for his own kids. I'm just saying. Anyway, they meet the new toys at the daycare, and we see Lotso, the strawberry scented villain of the third movie, trying to control the daycare, and they realize that they shouldn't have gone to the daycare because the daycare is the worst. And the toys execute this big old rescue or escape plan. Woody comes back to rescue them and ultimately leads them all to a new home with a little girl named Bonnie. Now, we'll talk more about Toy Story 3's emotional ending, but I remember crying as a 17-year-old at certain parts in this movie, and I just watched it last week with the girls and cried again. So, Toy Story 4, which is what year, Mitchell? That year thing isn't fun anymore because you know them all now. But
2019.
This is 2019, which we didn't see this for a long time. You want to know what? I put off seeing this movie for a long time because people in our circle at that time were critical of it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to see it then because they told me the ending was so bad. And then I saw it and I was like, wait a minute.
You didn't get it.
You didn't get it. You totally didn't get it. Because if you get it, you think brilliant. Anyway, so Toy Story 4, Woody is basically struggling to feel useful as he's frequently left in the closet at Bonnie's house when it's playtime. So he's just not Bonnie's favorite toy. He's not played with a lot. He's just kind of feeling like, what is my purpose in life now? And Bonnie goes to school and creates a new toy named Forky, which I love Forky. And Woody's like, great, my purpose is to protect Forky because Forky's so important to Bonnie. Like, Woody's just grasping for anything to be important anymore because he's like, who am I right now? Who am I without Andy? Anyway, during a family road trip, Forky gets lost and Woody goes through all these lengths to save him. But someone important comes back. Who is it? Bo comes back, and Woody's again left with a choice. Does he stay with Bonnie, who he kind of connected with, but not really ever deeply like he did with Andy? Or does he go off to be a lost toy with with Bo? And he ultimately decides that he has been a lost toy for a long time and ultimately decides that he's going to stay with Bo. Crazy. But also perfect, I think. Anyway, okay. So now that we've refreshed or reviewed the major plot lines, let's go back and dive into some of these deep themes and what makes these movies so incredibly amazing. I had it in my notes here to talk about it being criminal, in capital letters, criminal, that your mother has never watched them. But now I need to strike that from the record and say that it's just the fourth one she hasn't seen. I need to confirm this. But even if she hasn't seen the fourth one, I'm going to make her watch it. It'll be my life's mission. Which kind of leads me to believe into this belief that I have as I've been thinking about this episode and the fact that she hasn't seen them and the fact that they're just so amazing and the fact that the fifth one's coming out and the fact that we loved them as kids, but also now our kids are loving them. I have this belief that Toy Story movies are actually not kids movies, at all. When talking about the themes that are in them, I'm like, these are very much parenting, parent movies with just enough entertainment to entertain kids. But these themes, I'm like, why is this hitting me so hard? What do you think? I mean, they're made primarily for kids, but also not. These deep themes that they're touching on,
Yeah, I mean, they're very multi-layered, and you can see it with whatever eye you choose to see it with. If you choose to watch all the storyline and fully understand it, fine. But if you're a 6-year-old, you can just see a story of toys that come to life when there's no humans around, and they, have shenanigans, and
it's funny.
They try to save each other, and it's the end.
And it's funny, yeah. So yeah, I guess that's what I mean to say is it's truly a whole family experience because while kids are watching up here, this level, parents are watching that, but also there's more if you choose to see it that way, like you're saying. So you think some people choose not to see it that way. And I think those are the people that don't get Toy Story 4, don't get how it's a completely full circle moment.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so let's go back to Toy Story 1 first. Woody, main character, obviously, has life pretty much made. I mean, he's got things figured out. He's got, like, the room. As the room leader, he's got it all figured out. He's, like, got his routine. Like, he's just living life as good. He's not interested in really rocking the boat, which, I mean, I can relate to. I can be like, I'm the leader of this room. I'm the leader of this house. Like, let's not rock the boat. Then Buzz comes. And Woody's place as a favorite toy is threatened, and he's replaced, and they have a montage of his room being totally changed from Woody to Buzz, and it's actually really jarring. So he gets afraid, understandably, I think, that Andy won't need him or like him anymore, so, which is so relatable. Let's just be real. Like, someone who is more well-liked or shiny or new or more popular or more this or more that makes us feel insecure. So Woody as this toy, I mean, you can relate to him as a human. That's real, right? Like,
Yeah.
like someone like Buzz was a new toy, was a shinier toy, I don't know, like Woody's like, all I have is this voice box or whatever. And, you know, Buzz Lightyear was this whole action figure who could fly or fall
with style.
Fall with style. But I think, so I'm thinking about that. It's important to have this concept of there's always going to be somebody better than you, or somebody more gifted, or somebody more this or more that than you. And that ultimately, which I think Woody figures out eventually in the first movie, is that it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, Buzz is newer. Yeah, Buzz can do this. Buzz can do that. Yeah, this person can do that. This person, I can't do this or that. But ultimately, like, if you are insecure in how you were made and how God made you and in what he says about you, like, it doesn't matter what new toy, I'm saying that in quotes, new toy shows up, you can still be secure, which I personally hope is something that our girls always hold on to. Anyway, I'm going to turn my page.
I think there's a whole piece of, throughout the first 4 movies, of a reoccurring theme of Woody dealing with the fear of, what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't? What if I get replaced?
Mm-hmm.
What if something better comes along? What if I can't do what I was put here to do?
Yeah.
And like, even in the first movie, before Buzz shows up, the reason he sets up the whole spy party with the army men is to figure out if something's going to happen.
Like a new toy is going to come
at this party.
Yeah.
Because everything is so good. What if it changes?
Yeah.
What if my perfect play scenario is gone?
Yeah.
And he wants to try to prevent it however he can.
Because he's tried so hard to control the whole environment of, like, I'm in charge of this and I can plan for all the different scenarios. And also, all the toys were super anxious about them moving. Which, let's just sidebar here. The real hero of the story of the first movie is the mom, because who plans a freaking birthday party a week before their move? So she had a birthday party and a move to try and do. And
they were moving really far away, right?
I don't know.
I feel like they were moving pretty far away.
Oh, were they?
I think that was the point, is that they were like, it was the last time he was going to see his friends.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, I'm like, kudos to Andy's mom, honestly, for doing a birthday party and a move all in the same week. But anyway, yeah, that's so true. Yeah, of him being like, I need to see if anything's going to come and threaten my current perfect world, my perfect bubble.
Because what if my world changes?
Because what if it changes? Which, newsflash is, it does. Which is so interesting that introducing that theme to children, I mean, while it can feel at all like, oh, I just want to keep them protected and innocent and all that, but like, also, like, life changes constantly. And as amazing and wonderful as we think you are, there are going to be people who don't think that. And that, I hate that for you. I want everyone to know how amazing you are, but like, you're not going to be everyone's favorite toy. I'm using quotes again, not referring to my children as a toy, but you're not going to be everyone's favorite person. Some people are going to want to play with Buzz Lightyear. Some people are going to want to play with Woody, like, whatever. And there's always, and you've said this to the girls before, which I'm like, seems a little harsh, but it's true. There's always going to be someone better than you at something. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You find your thing.
Doesn't mean you're any less.
And we're not in competition with each other, even though you like to compete. Ultimately, like, do you think you're more in competition with yourself than you are with anybody else? Or are you truly just competitive with other people?
No. This is a different topic, but I'm very competitive with myself. That's just a personal preference. I like it. It's fun. It's a game.
To try and like one up yourself?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Buzz for a second, though. So we alluded to this a little bit before, but he doesn't understand that he's a toy right away. Like, he has to be taught about what an honor it is to be a toy. Like, do you want to dive in more into that whole arc of like his whole existential crisis of, oh my gosh, I'm a toy? Like, what does that even mean? And why is that such a big deal? Like, he thought I'm just like...
Yeah. He thought, I am this amazing space ranger. I was going to say space hero, but that's not right. Space ranger. I am here to help these people, but also I'm cooler than them. I'm better than them.
Mm-hmm.
They need me. They can't do it without me.
Yeah.
And if it's true that I'm just a toy, then my identity is gone.
Yeah.
And
what's so great about being a toy?
What's so great about being a toy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think at like Woody and him kind of have this fight, and he realizes, or he starts to realize, like, oh, I'm not a space ranger anymore. And he has that moment at Sid's house where he kind of gives up a little bit, and Woody's trying to be like, no, don't you realize how awesome it is to be a toy? Being a toy is a lot better than being a space ranger. And he goes, yeah, right. And Woody says, no, it is. And he said, over there in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest. And it's not because you're a space ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy. You are his toy. Wow. And like, but Buzz kind of like, that's Buzz's turning point, really. He like gets up off the ground and like tries to get them out of Sid's room. So Woody needs to get back in good standing with all the other toys, so he needs to save Buzz, and they just kind of end up becoming friends. Like, that was really... Do you think that was their turning point at Sid's house? Like, but Buzz is kind of given up, and Woody's like trying to convince him that that it's a good thing to be a toy. And then Woody has his moment of being like, well, you're a cool toy. I've got nothing. Andy's better off without me, kind of thing. And so they kind of take turns picking each other up.
Yeah, I think Woody realizes that no matter how cool Buzz is, he's not Woody. Like, they're different, and that's okay. And I think Buzz realizes that it's okay that he's a toy and that they're both unique and special.
Yeah,
and they can be friends. They don't have to be competitive.
Yeah, so like this idea of like what you are is okay, and there's space for you, and what this person is okay, and there's space for them. Like, there's room for everybody. Like, Woody didn't need to become Buzz. Buzz didn't need to become Woody. Andy loved both of them.
Yeah.
And played with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that. So they escape Sid, and they teach him to kind of respect his toys, which might be one of my favorite parts of the first movie, honestly, is when like they work with all of Sid's toys that he's disfigured. And they like play that do you remember what I'm talking about? They play that trick on him, try to teach him a lesson. So play nice. And he just gets really traumatized or something. Did you ever see that thing that this is kind of segueing, not segueing, but jumping ahead a little bit, but did you ever see that thing where some people think that Sid is the trash guy from Toy Story 3?
Yes.
Do you think that?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know if you believe that or not?
I don't know.
It wasn't officially.
It's possible, but it also just like, does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I could also very much see the filmmakers being like, we're going to leave it open to be like, let people think that maybe, but never confirm it.
But don't they move at the end of Toy Story 1? So if they move away...
I don't think they moved that far.
Oh,
we could agree to disagree on that. I don't think they moved that far. I thought they moved across town.
Okay, I could be wrong.
You could look it up. Anyway. So that's kind of the first movie. Leaves plenty of open adventures for future sequels. Obviously, we're going into number 5. before we move on to Toy Story 2, what are some of your favorite things about the first Toy Story movie that we haven't talked about maybe?
Actually, I'm actually not sure. I think we've covered most of it.
Okay. Who is your favorite character from the first Toy Story movie? If you had to just like say from this movie particularly, this was my favorite character for the first movie. Don't say Sid.
I don't know. I always like Rex. I think Rex is funny.
I read something that said like Rex's level of like perpetual anxiety is all of us. Like he's just constantly like, what does he say in the first movie? Is it a dinosaur toy? I don't think I could take that kind of rejection.
Yeah. I think the fact that they made the T-Rex the like anxious,
super scared
one, pretty funny.
Yeah, Rex is funny. Trying to think of my favorite from the first movie. I don't know. I might say
But you gotta love the potato heads too.
I might say Rex too. I mean, I think
Wait, is Mrs. Potato Head in the first one?
they
She's
got
not, right?
Molly gets Mrs. Potato Head.
That's what I thought.
Potato Head for Christmas.
But that's the end of the first one?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
A Mrs. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head. He's like wishing for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go completely off the rails and say Andy's mom is my favorite from the first one because again, she planned a birthday party in a move.
That's a Michael Scott answer.
Why? What does that mean?
He literally said, "Who's my favorite character from Tara's Toy Story?" Andy's mom.
Oh, why does he say that?
Because if Andy's mom doesn't exist, none of them exist.
Oh, that's true. Yep. Mm-hmm. And she's listening to like when they're driving. Remember, she's listening to Hakuna Matata. Molly's my favorite character in the first Toy Story movie.
Sitting in the front seat of the station wagon.
I'm like, what is this child doing in the front seat?
It was the 90s.
I mean, she was in a car seat, but the forward-facing car seat in the front seat. Are you mad? Anyway, whatever. Okay, Toy Story 2. Da, 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 da. What year did you say? 1999. So 4 years.
Correct.
What?
Yes, that's right.
So 4 years. So theoretically, how old was Andy turning in the first movie? Does it say?
I think Andy was 6 in the first movie. It's thought that he's 6, turning 7 at the end of Toy Story. He's 8 in Toy Story 2.
Okay.
Because remember, it doesn't necessarily mean chronological.
It doesn't need to. I know. Okay,
and then he's 17. And
so even though it was 4 years later, it released in the movie world.
It's only 1 year.
1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so going back to the review of this movie. So Woody is excited about Cowboy Camp with Andy, and he gets ripped. And once again, we see just how insecure Woody truly is because he's afraid that because he's broken, Andy won't love him anymore. And he finds Wheezy, and Mom was supposed to fix him, which she didn't, which kind of throws Mom under the bus a little bit, but whatever.
I mean, moms are busy and have a lot of things in their mind.
I know. I'm like, the fact that like she was supposed to replace his squeaker, I'm like, I totally understand how she didn't get that done. But anyway, introduces this concept of toys not lasting forever, which is really sad. Nothing lasting forever, really. Things break, toys come and go, etc., and how quickly kids move on. But from the toys' perspective, it's this huge existential
the fear of abandonment
crisis for Woody. Yes, his fear of abandonment, of not being needed anymore, of being thrown away. So the chicken man, Al, comes onto the scene, and he's this toy collector, I guess.
He owns a toy store, Al's Toy Barn.
But do you think he owned a toy store to try and find Woody?
No, I think he owned a toy store because that's what he did. But he was a lover of toys and was a collector and was trying to find these pieces.
But do you think he really liked toys, or was he just trying to make money? He kind of seemed a little skeezy.
I mean, I assume that they played him off that way, but he was probably just trying to make money. But obviously, it had to start from somewhere.
So he wants to complete his collection because Woody completes the collection that he already had and wants to make lots and lots of money, which kind of opens kids up to the idea of greed and wanting to collect things just for the sake of money, which we don't know if that was the reason, but he was very excited about making big bucks, he says, and wanting to sell them to the toy museum in Japan. I think he was greedy. I think they made him out to be greedy on purpose because it's this whole idea of
he also steals
toys for having something for prestige or for prestige or for money because it's worth a lot, or having it because you want to enjoy it. Like that's the whole I don't know the fancy word for it, but that's the whole tension of the second movie is Woody being like, do I want to be a museum artifact or do I want to be a toy? I mean, yeah.
Well, it's do I want to be loved by my kid and played with, even if it's temporary, because he understands that it's not going to last forever now, and potentially be abandoned at some point in my life, or do I want to be preserved forever, but never
Truly loved
by a kid?
I mean, yeah. I never really got emotional about the second movie until becoming a parent. This idea that Andy will someday outgrow him and that he should maybe just go to a museum and hide away and be loved forever, which he wouldn't be truly loved because he wouldn't be truly played with or whatever or enjoyed, but he would be appreciated forever and give up his one specific kid because that kid will eventually grow up. And that hits a deep spot in I don't know if it hits a deep spot in dads, but it hits a deep spot in moms because in a lot of ways it's like raising kids. Eventually they leave and will not need you in the same ways. And do you phone it in because it hurts too much to love them and give them everything, or do you just rip your heart open and give them absolutely everything in the time that you have them, knowing that eventually we won't be needed? Like, eventually, like that moment's coming for all of us. Oh.
I mean, yes, but a little different. You have a God-given job.
I know the right answer is to just do it anyway. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It hits a deep spot in that, like, oh, and Woody's worried about Andy moving on and him being irrelevant. Our kids are going to move on and I'm going to be irrelevant. Well, obviously I'll always be their mom, but
I don't know if I've ever thought about it from that perspective.
Well, you're welcome. Now you have.
Gee, thanks.
How does it make you feel? Let's talk about it.
I don't know. I need 5 to 7 business days
to think about it. Okay, well, let's move on. We're introduced to Jessie in this movie, which is fantastic. What do you think of the addition of Jessie as a character as a whole?
As a character outside the movie, she's one of Disney's biggest characters still to this day.
Yeah.
So clearly she was a very successful character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think she's obviously someone, and you're probably going to get to this now, that has dealt with deep abandonment, and it kind of helps Woody through that.
Yeah,
maybe I'm going ahead, so maybe
no, that's fine. No, that's a great segue because she has a similar relationship with her owner, Emily. So Emily must have been significantly older than Andy because
there's a theory that Emily is Andy's mom.
There's a theory that Emily is Andy's mom. There's also a theory that Emily comes back in the 5th movie.
Well, we'll find out.
So we'll see. But this is the storyline. We get the saddest song in Pixar history, When Somebody Loved Me. So Jessie wants to go to the museum because the idea of being loved by millions of kids from a distance seems safer and easier than being in storage or waiting for another kid. And I think that being around Woody, do you think that being around Woody, she kind of opens herself up to the idea of being loved by a kid again? Like she had turned that part of, we're giving toys such an emotional life here. But she like turns part of that part of herself off because it hurt so much when Emily left her, and she was abandoned. But then Woody comes back and he feels the same way about Andy that she felt. And she kind of warms up to the idea of being loved by a kid again. And it obviously ends up working out for her, right? She goes home with Andy and gets several good years with him.
Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely. So I think Woody needed to see that even if a toy becomes abandoned, because Jessie was abandoned, that she can still be a toy, and she's still someone. But then Jessie needed Woody to show her that she can, open herself up to a new kid again. She can't be searching for Emily 30-some years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's thought that she was a kid's toy in the 70s. This would have been, 20-some years later. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can allow yourself to move on or to let go of.
Like, you don't need to put yourself in a box and assume that all you can't have your emotions out anymore.
I'm old.
Not even that, but not. I'm just gonna put all these walls up around myself. I'm never let myself feel anything again.
Yeah.
For a kid or another person.
Yeah, I wrote here, I love the idea of not letting the fear of something ending getting in the way of you trying something new or living with an open heart. I mean, I tend to fall into this self-preservation or not wanting to open myself up to being hurt. Like this idea of, I read it in a book this year called Joy Fear. I told you this the other day when we were at the pool and everything was great. The girls were having fun. We were sitting there and relaxing. And you were like, isn't this amazing? Isn't our life great? And I told you, I'm like, yeah, it makes me feel like something bad's going to happen.
Still don't understand that.
It's a real thing, though. It's called joy fear. It's like when things are good, when I'm feeling joy, that must mean something bad's right around the corner.
Which is what Woody had in Toy Story 1 when it started.
Being afraid of joy because something bad might happen. We see this, but we see this in Jessie, too. Like, she's like, I don't want to, like, I want to go to the museum because that's safer. I don't want to have another kid again. I don't want to stay in storage. I don't want to have another kid again because, you know, the same thing that happened to me with Emily could happen again. And
I can't go through that again.
I definitely relate to that of like, oh, let's just avoid anything. Like, let's just not let anything in because if you let your guard down, like something bad might happen. But what I'm realizing, I read this book as a tool to help me through that, to be like, no, if you do that though, you don't let the good in either. And it's not like you want to have as much, like this author was talking, I don't remember what book it was, but this author was basically talking about you want to have as much joy and as much good built up in you, like savored in you, so to carry you through the bad. Like you can't say I'm not going to experience anything good or anything bad because like ultimately it's an illusion that you can protect yourself from something bad happening. Like crap happens anyway. So like this idea of like stockpiling joyful experiences, like imprinting them almost inside of you to like stockpile them to carry you through the bad things, to be like, oh yeah, I'm going through something bad right now, but I have this arsenal of like good memories and like gratitude for these like special moments I remember. But if you don't allow yourself to feel those, you don't have that stockpile when you go through the bad stuff that's inevitably going to happen. So that was a kick in the shins to be like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I do. But the bad, like, can I really control the bad things happening? Can I really control as much as I think I can? No. So anyway.
Is it a form of bracing?
Like, yes. Actually, like, so in the tender and fierce stuff, it's called bracing. Like you feel braced for life all the time. And I would say, I'm getting better, but I would say like a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, I would say, I'm not even exaggerating when I'd say I was braced 95% of the time. Like,
maybe you should explain what bracing is.
Like braced physically, like parts of my body tight, actually. Like, you know, like when like someone's going to punch you in the stomach, your stomach's tight. Like my stomach was always tight. So I always had an upset, like just not an upset stomach, but not a settled stomach. Like, my fists sometimes are physically braced, like, or my jaw. Like I went to the dentist and they're like, you grind your teeth, don't you? Like my jaw tensed, like my teeth, just like clenching my teeth, like my face tensed, like my like eyebrows, like constantly like in a frown, like just like physically my body braced because emotionally I'm like, I got to stay like armored, like protected for the next bad thing to happen, like hypervigilant, like looking over my shoulder, being like, what possibly could happen? I need to, what's the Angela quote or the Ryan thing? I need to be prepared for absolutely every possible scenario.
Yeah, which seems excessive.
Which seems excessive to him. But to me, I'm like, oh no, yeah, we definitely need to do that. So I'd say like a year and a half ago, I was probably braced 95% of the time. And that's why I felt so tired all the time. Like, because you're braced like for something like bad to happen.
Yeah, I kind of liken it to like when you're on an old roller coaster and you know it's going to slam on the brakes at the end. You kind of like hold yourself off the lap bar so it doesn't knock the wind out of you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But in the emotional sense, you're saying like I'm holding myself back from experiencing all of this because if something goes off the rails, I need to be prepared.
Yeah. Like I can't let my emotional guard down because something bad could happen and it would really hurt. And I don't want to feel that anymore. So I don't want to feel anything because you can't, what I learned is you can't shut off. I'm not going to feel anything bad. You shut off everything. You're like, so that was like, a year and a half ago, could get excited kind of about things, but not really. Like the spectrum of emotions I could feel was very, very, what's this way? Narrow? Narrow?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Because like you could feel a little bit good and a little bit bad, but not too much. Versus where I feel like I am now. I feel like I still find myself bracing, but I've noticed it now. I'm like, oh, I'm bracing. What am I bracing for? Like I've learned a lot about this joy, like being afraid of joy and this hypervigilance and this bracing and all of that, and noticing it and being like, oh, what am I braced for? What am I afraid of? Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation, but I digress. So all that to say, I relate to Jesse. What you look like you have thoughts about that.
No, I think it's great. I think there's a lot to understand there and see from Jesse's point of view. But.
Yeah. I mean, I think I really relate to Jesse. Like, I understand. You wouldn't want that to happen again. That would suck, But ultimately, like, yeah, I feel like I've been on a very wasn't abandoned by my owner in the same way that Jesse was, but some bad things have happened to me in my life, and like the loss of a parent was very significant, and like I don't want to feel anything remotely close to that again. Like, is there an opt-out button? Because I would opt out, but like at the end of the day, like I couldn't stop that. I couldn't stop the next bad thing from happening, and so it was this moment of like, do you want to feel anything ever again? And I think seeing our girls and really having to realize, like, do I want them to have a mom who doesn't feel anything, who doesn't feel, like, doesn't have any joyful moments with them or whatever, or doesn't have any happy moments with them ever, it is just kind of like mid-level all the time? Or do I want to show them the full range of emotions, which also is kind of scary too, because because then I had to work through the fear of, what if my bad gets too bad for them? Like, what if it gets too dark for them? But then having to like realize, like, no, I've done a lot of work, like, and I don't want to paint a picture of life that's not true and real. Like, that's filtered. Like, they will go through their own bad. Don't I want them to know that that's like just a part of it, and how to go through the bad well?
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, it doesn't exist. And then they get to their own bad and they're like, why the heck didn't anyone tell me? Why didn't anyone tell me that this was a possibility?
Somewhere in all this, in that pad of stuffing, is a toy who taught me that life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid. And I traveled all this way to rescue that toy because because I believed him.
And what does Woody finally say when he decides to not go to the museum, but to go back to Andy's?
I can't stop Andy from growing up, but I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, see, that's going to make me cry. Oh, we can't stop our kids from growing up. We can't stop life from, even if you don't have kids, can't stop life from changing, but do you want to miss it?
Yeah.
That's kind of the journey I've been on the last year. I can't stop basically anything.
No, you can't stop it, but you're going to miss it if you don't.
But you're going to miss it.
If you're just constantly mourning for the day or the week or the month that has passed.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. That'll preach. So moving on to Toy Story 3, we have an 11-year gap. Time-wise, movie-wise, though, how long would that have been then? Maybe 10 years? It's been a long time.
Yes, it's been almost 10. Yeah, sorry.
It's been almost 10 years.
I don't know why. Yes,
Andy
it's been almost 10 years.
is a teenager now, going to college. The toys have been left in the toy box for quite some time. We find Andy is a teenager, and his mom is wanting to have him go through his room and get rid of stuff, which, let's just talk about your eaves for a second in your childhood home. What kind of stuff did your mom find in your eaves up in your room? You had, what, 2 of them?
Oh, yeah.
So you had these 2 pockets in the wall. How deep were they? Like,
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 feet deep. And then, how far did they go back in?
Yeah.
20, 25.
What? Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Did not realize they were that big. Were they
They're
full?
massive.
Were they all full?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. Mitchell, what did your mom find in your eaves?
It was all useful stuff.
Oh, yeah, right. Wait, do you think they're still full?
No, I know she went through them and got rid of a bunch of stuff.
She went all the way back there and pulled it all out.
Yeah.
Oh,
We used them as like
her
a playhouse type thing.
bless her.
You didn't know that?
Were they connected?
Well, the one on the right side was connected to the room beside it. And
Okay, because there wasn't even that room.
yes, but they were connected. You could go between them.
Oh.
So like we at one point like put carpet in them, like just pieces of carpet, scraps in them, and then we would like we had lights in there. And
how'd you get lights in there?
we just put like strung Christmas lights in there. And then we would just hang out in there and play.
Wait,
in there. Yeah.
that's really cute.
You didn't know that?
Actually. I thought you just shoved them full of crap.
No.
Like, I thought the eaves were what your nightstand looks like now.
I mean, probably, but
And your desk, which I organized your desk. I want wifey brownie points for that. I organized your desk when you were gone because
good job.
I had to sit there for 125-second call, and I was like, this is horrendous.
Yeah, I honestly just didn't have time.
And then I had a feeling of like regret where I was like, wait, I hope it's not one of those like organized chaos situations where he's like, he knows where everything is. Weirdly.
I mean, yes, I did, and I know where everything was, and I have had to search for things, but the lack of dust now is very nice.
Oh, okay, so it's mostly appreciated. Anyway, I did not have eaves. I'm trying to think though, because in our house, the house that we grew up in on Maple Street, I remember being in each bedroom besides my parents' room. So we moved bedrooms quite a bit. You wouldn't have, because your parents added on, and that was your room for the majority of your childhood then, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, I had Christian's room my entire life. And then I moved up to the top. That's
How
the only
old were
two.
you?
10 maybe? I don't know.
So I feel like I remember being in the middle room and playing with like Barbies in there. And then I think it must have been when Tyler moved to college that I got his corner room. And I don't remember playing with toys in there. But anyway, I don't remember being such a hoarder of things. I'm not really a hoarder. No. I've become more of a hoarder now as a homeschool mom. Like I hoard, this is a potentially useful craft supply.
Which it usually is.
And also like the kids' art. I just can't. Like people like send me these like, oh, you can put it in a book, like take a picture of it, scan it and put it in a book. And I'm like, no, like I want to see their scribble marks. Like I want to rub my hands over like the pencil lines of like where they're writing. I sound so much like your mom, don't I?
I mean, yeah, but that's...
Do I sound like Sherry Steele right now?
Yeah, that's something that she would definitely say.
Yeah, like I want to see the actual art, like the paint, like strokes, and I don't know. Anyway, so Toy Story 3, the moment where like Andy's mom is like making him clean out his room. I mean, let's just talk about how emotional that is, because as we've been saying, this moment is coming for all of us. Not looking forward to that day. I will keep all of our girls' toys so they can have them for their children. So Toy Story 3. By a series of unfortunate events, and I think because her unresolved trauma has her thinking crazy, Jessie convinces the toys that instead of going in, I'm a little bit bitter at her for this, instead of going into the attic and staying up there until Andy needs them again, which he definitely would have come back for them to give to his own kids, but whatever. They should have gone up there, but instead they jump into the donations box and end up at a daycare called Sunnyside, and it's an awful place. I mean...
Well, she says, I should have seen this coming. It's Emily all over again.
Which, yeah, she should have. Lotso the Strawberry Bear is just a fantastic villain, and his backstory is actually really heartbreaking. Like, he was Lotso loving bear. He was so happy, and his owner actually loved him so much and just left him by accident. Like, it wasn't even an Emily situation. Like, moving on. Like, what was his owner's name? Daisy?
Mm-hmm.
Daisy loved him. And the parents, wanting to do the right thing, replaced him. And he makes it home and sees that he was replaced. And it causes him to like completely snap and grasp for control of all of Sunnyside. Which, honestly, if our girls we like lost a toy and we feasibly could replace it, of course that's what you do.
You mean what we did?
Yeah. Well, are we going to talk about that? She knows that's...
Yeah, she knows what happened.
Okay, so you got to tell the story then. Which is so funny because it was Jessie. Okay, anyway. Tell the story.
We were at Magic Kingdom, and Joelle had her Jessie squishy, and she thought she put her in the little
Stroller.
pocket,
Yeah.
but I think she just missed that, and she slid off somewhere. She was gone.
Yeah.
Long story short, the
They didn't
workers
sell. They didn't sell her.
they didn't
anywhere.
sell her at the Emporium.
Yeah.
The workers just felt so bad for Joelle, they gave her a different Jessie toy.
Yeah.
And I just remember we got back to our
She
room.
had just gotten it that she had.
No, she had had it for a while. It one she had had for a while.
She had it for a while, but she brought it with.
Yeah. So we got back to our room, and I don't know that I'll ever forget this. Joelle walks into the room. She said, "Hi, toys. I lost Jessie, but the workers gave me another one, and it was a little different, and she still has it." But then, anyways, it was
the doll that like actually has the voice box.
Yeah, and it's not a plush. So we got her another one,
Another
and
Jessie plush.
yeah, and it got to our house, and for a little bit, she thought
For a
that
couple of months. I mean, because we told her Jessie
found her way home.
found her way home.
Yeah. Obviously, she figured it out because she's extremely smart.
Yeah.
And she started asking a lot of questions because she wanted to believe that, but she knew it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yeah. Woody ends up at Bonnie's house. Bonnie is the little girl who goes to Sunnyside. That's where we meet Bonnie, and she's adorable, the little girl. Woody ends up there, right? And finds out that Sunnyside actually isn't great, and finds out about Lotso because Lotso's old toys, or one of Lotso's old toys, was at Bonnie's house. Chuckles.
Oh yes, yep.
Says Sunnyside's not this great place, and Woody thought leaving that his friends were going to be fine, and he's like, good riddance, enjoy your life at daycare. I'm going to go to college, and then he has this moment where he's like, okay, do I go back to college? Do I go back to Andy and leave them like they just abandoned Andy and wanted daycare life, or does he go back and be the hero? And he obviously is Woody, chooses to be the hero. And then he goes and they all work together to escape, but not before. Oh gosh. Their escape plan was very elaborate. Let's just talk about that. Their escape plan was fantastic.
We need the tortilla.
But we need the tortilla. The monkey. Get the monkey.
Oh, the surveillance monkey?
Yeah, the surveillance monkey. But can we just talk for a minute about the fire scene and how traumatic that was? See, this is the moment I remember watching Toy Story 3 in theaters and crying and being like, are you kidding me? The toys are all holding hands about to go into the incinerator. Like they're holding hands like we're all going to die together. I remember sitting in the theater watching that and being like, this is horrible. Like what is going to happen? Well, obviously it doesn't end like that. What happens? Tell us.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
It's been a long time
They're
since
in the fire. Mitchell, they're in the fire in the trash,
Yeah.
about to be in the incinerator.
I know that's not where it ends, but
And the aliens come down with the huge claw and grabs them out and says, the claw, and saves them. I mean, the fact that they all thought they were going to die together, wow. I remember that being very, traumatic in the theaters. Oh gosh. This is what I wanted to talk about. Woody gets to experience being played with at Bonnie's house because Bonnie's little.
Mhm.
Andy is grown. That's the first time he's probably played with in a long time. And he realizes again, he's reminded again how much purpose there is in having a kid who loves you and plays with you.
Isn't this the movie where they they have the shenanigan where they put Andy's cell phone in the toy box to see if he'll play with them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Because they just want to know if Andy still cares. What did you think of the end of the movie, like Woody's decision? Because Woody decides to stay in the box with the other toys to be given to Bonnie. Remember that? He was in the college box. He gets out and goes into the other box with the other toys. Do you think he should have stayed in the college box with Andy, or was it the right move for him to go to the box to be given to Bonnie? Because once they all get out of Sunnyside, they come back to Andy's house, but realize that they, have to get back in the box. And Woody writes some sort of note on the box. Do you remember this? He writes some sort of note to tell Andy about Bonnie. So he must have written donate these to Bonnie,
Yeah,
whatever.
they the families know each other somehow.
Yeah.
Do
you think you should have stayed in Andy's college box?
I don't know if it's it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm not sure if it's more of Woody being okay with moving on from Andy, or if that he thought that he needed to be there for the other toys. Because he has this like selfless leader mindset of every movie.
Yeah. Like he knows that
he didn't know if he could abandon the other toys.
He knows they all rely on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all stick together. They do say that a lot in the movies. We stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. Like maybe it was his first taste of letting go of Andy.
Yeah.
But I mean, this movie makes me cry. Andy's mom, like walking into his empty room saying, "I just wish I could always be with you." Oh my gosh. I just watched this last week with the girls and I was crying, like openly crying. And Joelle says, "Mom, can you wait till the end of the movie to cry?" And then Andy going to leave his toys with Bonnie, and it's just like this sweet montage of emotional weightiness, him playing with his toys for the first time in probably 11 years with Bonnie. And then he's standing at the back, like he's standing at his car, looking back at all his toys, and he says under his breath, "Thanks, guys."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're gonna cry too. You're gonna cry thinking about it. Like it's Andy knows how significant his childhood was and how these toys were so important to giving him the childhood and the life that he's now living. And it's like so emotional.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like, thanks, guys. And this is like where we see this idea of letting go, like embracing a new season while also grieving the end of a really, really good season. Like these toys grieving the fact that Andy's literally driving away from them. But also in the next breath, he gets up and says, "Hey, you got to meet the new toy, Bonnie's new toys." Like they're excited because Bonnie's a new kid and they get another chance. Like teaching like kids this idea of like holding both of like, yeah, that's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the next moment, like that's also really exciting. Like how like feelings don't last forever. 2, you can feel more than one thing at one time.
Yeah. Just because something sad happens doesn't mean that a good thing can't still come.
Yeah. It's like not like literally it was in the same moment. Like teaching kids to grieve and all of that, like, oh my gosh, fantastic. I mean, a fantastic movie to put on and be like, wow, see how sad that was? Like that was a big change for them. But also like they got Bonnie, cool. Like being like, you can feel both of these things right after the other. Oh gosh. And this is like you said earlier, this is a movie we get Buzz's Spanish mode, which was just really funny. I just thought that was really funny. We got Buzz's Spanish mode. Okay. Well, you kind of alluded to this earlier that you didn't really have one, but I'm going to ask it anyway because you might think now that we've been talking for a while. What were your Andy's room toys in your life? Like, you look back and remember them in this way. Like, you probably didn't have action figures, right? Or did you?
Oh, not really. I was more playing with what cables I could hook together and things like that. Yeah.
So a random box of cables was
or playing with computers or things like that. Yeah.
What are some things that you like about Toy Story 3 and what are some things you didn't like about Toy Story 3 from what you can remember?
Toy Story 3 is the one I've seen the least. I mean, so probably a dozen times.
So probably 12 times.
So I don't have a lot of good pieces to it. I don't know that I watched Toy Story 3 long before I watched Toy Story 4. So I know there's this whole camp of people that were like, it ended the series so well, which, I mean, I could see I'll put a cap on it, but it still feels to me like, although it ended with them being passed on from Andy, I still feel like Woody his storyline was still kind of left in limbo.
Yeah. Because was he truly going to be able to move on from Andy?
And we just didn't know yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have many thoughts about this one.
Well, in Toy Story 3 was when I just remember this now, was when we realized that Bo had left Toy Story 3.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of the toys had like his toy collection was smaller. Gotten rid of some.
Well, Bo wasn't Andy's toy.
Bo was Molly's toy. And Barbie was Molly's toy, which, yeah, we just need to talk about Barbie and Ken. Hilarious. Like, Ken in Toy Story 3 was hilarious. He might be my favorite character in Toy Story.
Them ripping his clothes is really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. His like fashion show and like Barbie using him to get information. So funny. Who's your favorite character in Toy Story 3?
That's specific to Toy Story 3?
Yeah. Well, it could be in our movies, but like specifically I really liked them in this movie. It could be a new character, it could be an old character. But like I really liked them in this movie.
I mean, It's hard to pass up Buzz's Spanish mode.
That's true. I like Barbie and Ken. I thought they were
Yeah.
funny. And their little spin-off, it's on Disney Plus. Remember we've seen it? Their little
Yes, I don't know
spin-off
what it's called, but I know what you mean.
where they're like trying to have their first kiss or whatever.
Yeah, isn't there a couple episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's also Small Fry.
That's right.
There's several of those like short things that are really funny.
Choice to call it chicken fry.
Chicken. Yeah. Buckle up. Get into my favorite of the Toy Story movies. Spoiler alert. I said I was going to say which one was my favorite. Toy Story 4 is. The fourth one. That's a bold statement because not everyone loved it. And I waited a while to watch it.
Respectfully, they're wrong.
But I did. I loved it. To me, the ending made so much sense. And like all the sense in the world, really, if you truly dive into Woody's journey and his whole character development, like over the series as a whole. Okay, so first let's talk about Bonnie and Woody. He spent most of his time in the closet, so he's lacking purpose. We start the movie, he's lacking purpose. Like he's like, what do I do? Kind of twiddling his thumbs, a little bit like everyone else is business as usual. What do I do? And then Bonnie goes to school and makes Forky, and suddenly Woody feels like he has purpose again because in keeping Forky safe. Like, well, if I can't be the favorite toy, I can at least keep the favorite toy alive. And you see him kind of grasping to stay relevant, and Woody just wants to be needed, which I can relate to. Woody wants to be needed. But then on the journey of the movie, he finds Bo and kind of sees what she's been up to. And this whole new world of being a lost toy is opened up to him. And he wonders kind of if his job is done or if his season with Bonnie is over. But do you remember when they see each other for the first time? And he says, "Are you a lost toy? That's awful." And she's like, "That's great." Like she thinks it's this great thing. He is like, "This is the worst thing that could ever happen." I'll throw it to you to talk about the fourth movie a little bit. What did you think of it when you first saw it? Give us your thoughts on the fourth movie a little bit.
Well, the fact that it opens with Bo's lamp being given away, and Woody trying to save Bo, and he actually does save her, but she says, "It's okay, I need to go.
Yeah.
Molly doesn't need me anymore."
Yeah. Well, she says, "I'm not Andy's toy."
I'm not Andy's toy, and Molly doesn't need me anymore. Is the first time it's the first time in this movie that they start talking about moving. They start talking about moving on, and that's obviously many years before Toy Story 4, because that's still when Andy is 6 or 7 years old, or maybe a little bit older.
It's like a flashback, yeah.
Yes. And then we move forward to Woody not being the favorite toy, but still trying to help other toys like find their purpose. So he's still trying to be a leader, even though he's not the room leader anymore.
Yeah.
But he's still trying to help toys be there for their kid.
I wanted to pivot in talking a little bit about Buzz in this movie because Woody goes through his own journey, which we'll go back to, but Buzz kind of has to take his own journey of because Woody and Buzz are separated for most of this movie. Which in the other two movies prior to this, they were a little bit, but they were they worked together a lot. So this movie, they're separated, and this is the first time we see Buzz really having to be like, what do I do? Like, Woody's usually been the leader. He has this whole journey of finding to listen to his inner voice. He talks about his thanks inner voice, because up until this point, Woody had kind of been the leader, and Buzz kind of had to learn to follow his own instincts when Woody wasn't around, because in the third movie he was in demo mode for the third movie.
Yeah. In the second movie he had to go on the adventure to find Woody, but he never thought that Woody wouldn't come back.
Yeah,
this is the first time he's like, "Oh, I'm going to need to step up and lead."
Like, what do I do if Woody's not here? Because Woody's usually the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Or usually the leader. So I think Buzz's journey of having to follow his own instincts and own inner voice, like maybe he had an inkling that Woody wasn't going to be around forever. And that I don't know, I just felt like that was an interesting Because they didn't need to do that necessarily. Like, they didn't need to give him that whole arc of, like, his inner voice. But I think it added a lot.
Yeah.
I think it added some emotional depth to Buzz. Again, we're giving these toys such an emotional life. But
I mean, that's how it was written, though.
yeah. So let's talk about some of the new characters in this movie. Like, when we go to the Toy Story restaurant, like Duke Kaboom. I love Duke Kaboom. Yes, he Canada.
Also a guy who's he lives his life around thinking that he's a disappointment to someone.
Oh, yeah. Like, what was it? Rajon. I'm sorry, Rajon.
It's a commercial.
It's not real, which is so devastating, actually. Like, for him to be like, I'm sorry I was a disappointment to you.
He thinks he's like, all I can do is crash.
That's all he says. Crash. I never thought about that. Wow. His emotional life, too. Wow. And how he becomes a hero in the movie because, like, we need someone who can crash like you can. Wow. I never thought about that. Wow, Duke Kaboom. I really liked him. I thought he was good. I thought he was funny and a good addition. Forky. I mean, Forky was funny and silly. I love that Bonnie made Forky. I think that's so dear.
Yeah. I think Bo is a new character in this movie. She's not because she's in the original movies, but she's a porcelain doll.
Yeah.
That becomes this adventurous person.
Yeah.
Has her arm taped on.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's highly breakable.
She's gritty.
But she's become like this gritty person.
Yeah. Well, she's a lost toy. She had to be.
Yes.
Which the short Lamp Life. You remember seeing that on Disney Plus? The short about her, like basically what she was doing as a lamp, how she got off of the lamp, basically. Because in Molly's room, she was the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, also, let's just talk for a second because there wasn't much continuing. Like, you look at how she was made. In the first movie, she can walk. The second movie, she's on the lamp.
Well, I have seen that. It's because they glued her to the lamp.
Oh, okay.
At the antique shop.
And then, okay, that makes more sense. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Is she a toy or is she a lamp? I don't know what she is.
Yeah, it's a set.
But then, like, yeah, she just gets this, which, again, you have to kind of realize maybe they didn't realize that she was going to come back in the fourth. Like, they probably didn't realize that in the first movie where the fourth movie and fifth movie were going to end up. But anyway, I agree. Bo is a new character because she's completely different. Mm-hmm. She had to be. She had to adapt. Okay, so let's pivot for a second and talk about how the villain in the fourth movie is not. I don't think she's actually a villain at all. Gabby. I mean, she's this example of doing things the wrong way, but for a really, really sad, good reason. I mean, her desire is to be loved wasn't bad and was actually truly tragic. I mean, she was defective out of the box. So a kid was never going to love her. And she was just trying to get her chance. And when she finally did get her chance, remember what happened with Harmony, the little girl she was in love with?
Yeah. It
disappointed her. Harmony didn't want her.
Well, she went through this whole thing of thinking she needed to change herself so someone would love her.
Mm-hmm. And when she did get what she thought she needed, what she thought she wanted, it disappointed her.
Yeah, if I have this.
Wow, that'll preach. If I can just have that, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Such a trap. But then when she like realizes like, oh, that was disappointing and she's in this despair, she does get a redemptive story arc moment because remember, she's like gonna go off with the toys to Bonnie. But then she sees that little girl who's lost. Remember that really sweet moment? She sees a little girl who's lost. And she feels this pull of like, oh, I can help you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go comfort you. And then she gets to be her toy. I mean, talk about second chances. Wow. But that's so true. I like what you said about she thought she had to change herself to be loved. And that's just such a trap because it's disappointing. It's not, if you have to change yourself to be loved, it's not real love. Listen to that, girls. Well, I mean anyone, but this is mostly for my daughters. Listen to that. You don't need to change a thing about yourself to be loved. I mean, you need to grow. There is something to be said for like you can't just be a crap person and be like, well, whatever.
No, but you don't need to become what you think is someone's ideal purpose for you.
You don't need to morph into what someone else wants you to be, or you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to change yourself. If you are being true to who God made you to be, you don't need to change yourself. God is constantly refining us and shaping us, and that's different. But what I'm saying is when someone puts expectations on you or you're trying to be this so that they will love you, I mean, how exhausting. Oh gosh. So let's get to the controversial end of this movie because that's what put me off. I don't think I watched this movie until 2020 or 2021, honestly, because people told me it sucked so bad, and I was like, I watched it and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why people hated it. And Woody's decision to stay with Bo, and the moment that always makes me cry. Okay, the moment that always makes me cry is when Woody is like, it's the same thing you were talking about when Woody saves Bo and they're at the box and she's going to stay in the box to be given away. And Woody is trying to decide, does he get in the box with her or does he stay with Andy? His first moment of like, do I move on or do I whatever? Do I choose myself? Do I choose love? Like go with Bo or stay with Andy? His like
You mean
purpose
Bonnie?
his purpose in life. No, at this point he was with
Oh, you're talking about the flashback. Yes.
yeah. It's the same moment. He's holding on to the edge of the box and he's holding on to say, do I go back into the RV with Buzz and the other toys to go to Bonnie's or do I go with Bo? Like it's a flat, he's probably remembering that first moment. And Buzz can see that he's having this dilemma, internal dilemma. And he says, she'll be okay. Bonnie will be okay. Like, oh my gosh, makes me cry. Like Buzz knew the internal battle that Woody was having and like kind of let him go and gave him permission to let go of this kid who wasn't truly his kid to move on with Bo because Bonnie was never really his kid.
No.
And Buzz kind of gave Woody permission to move on and be like, it's okay. She'll be okay.
Yeah.
And so does this mean Woody's a lost toy? And Buzz says he's not lost, not anymore. I mean, I can watch this part of the movie with no sound and still cry uncontrollably at it. I mean, like I just teared up reading that. I mean, what do you think about the ending? I mean, did it hit? I mean, obviously you don't cry every time you see it, but did it hit?
I mean, well, obviously, but it goes through this whole scenario of Woody understanding that he has his duty is not just to one kid. Because that kid doesn't actually need him, and his kid was always Andy.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hanging out with his toys, helping his toys. Bonnie didn't actually need him. And he finally realizes that he can actually go out and help other kids, and that's where Bo tells him to be who you are right now, not try to be who you were 20 years ago in his glory days.
Yeah.
And that's
God that she tells him that. Yeah.
Yeah, she says, "Be who you are right now." And then obviously a little bit later, that's when Buzz says she'll be okay. Bonnie will be okay because he knows that Bonnie doesn't need him either. Because Bonnie, not that she's doesn't need Andy or need Woody, but she plays with other toys, and in fact, she takes Woody's sheriff badge and gives it to Jessie because she likes Jessie.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, before they part ways, Woody gives
it back to Jessie.
Gives his sheriff star to Jessie.
Yeah. Which, like, Woody saying goodbye to all those toys, like, I'm like, I cannot handle this.
Yeah. I think I saw that they're having the character Jessie have the sheriff star now in Disney World.
Wow. I think I asked her one time about that. I was like, why does he still have that?
Because she has it in Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, and then the end of the movie, obviously, when Buzz says he's not lost, not anymore, meaning that he's been lost since Andy. Mm-hmm. He's been there helping his friends, and they kind of see that as his selfless act to help all of them for all these years. And he's finally doing something for himself because he also lost his best friend, which was Bo.
Oh, yeah. In an attempt to do the right thing and like be there for his kid, he gave up something really significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. His duty.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a duty? Like he chose duty over, I guess, over heart?
Yeah.
Or was his heart split?
I mean, I think it was probably a little bit of duty over that because I might be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the flashback in Toy Story 4, actually, no, I know it for sure. Bo says kids lose their toys every day, like get in the box with me.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She makes room for him.
Yeah. Like she wanted him to come with her.
Kids lose their toys every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he thought he can't do that. And then, of course, a second later, after the car pulls away, Andy's running around looking for Woody, all upset and worried that he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that he chose duty over what he needed.
Yeah, or what he wanted, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think his heart was with Andy too. But also maybe because he was scared, because he's like, I mean, he says this in Toy Story 4, this is all I have left to do. Like,
It's because all I have left to do.
he was probably, maybe he was scared of like, I go with Bo and then what? Will I regret? Will I feel purposeless? You know? I mean, it's brilliant because whether we like it or not, like seasons end and sometimes our role in someone's life changes or ends, and there's no way around that. Like, that's sad and heartbreaking, and while at the same time you can be excited for the future and jump in with both feet and see it as a joyful thing too. Like, he was excited about being, like, he was sad for a moment to say goodbye to all his friends, but then he was excited to be a lost toy with Bo. He was like, oh wow, this is gonna be great. Like, again, teaching our kids to hold two truths at the same time. Like, he was sad about like, oh, I'm leaving my friends. Like, Toy Story 3 was about him, I think. I see Toy Story 3 as Woody letting go of Andy. Toy Story 4, I see Woody letting go of the other toys. His duty, or what he felt like was his duty to the other toys. Because Buzz stepped up and said, I'm going to lead. Because he said goodbye to Andy in Toy Story 3. You know, he goes to college. Says, so long, partner. And then Toy Story 4, he really lets go of Buzz and lets go of the other toys.
Yeah.
And so that the sadness and the grief in both of those, but also looking forward to, like, he was excited about being in Bonnie's room and being like, okay, a new adventure. And then he was excited about being a lost toy.
Yeah, and he's also afraid that he kind of confronts that fear of being useless or becoming useless, and realizing that that's not what happens. His purpose just changes. Yeah. Because he's trying to hang on to that
Which
so long.
can give comfort to a mom like me who's like, oh, I won't ever be useless to my kids. My role will just change. Seasons will change, but God will always have a purpose for me. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. I honestly loved the ending and wouldn't change it. The criticism, I think the criticism makes sense in a way because humans resist change. Like, you know, people are like, I could have done without Toy Story 4. Okay, great. Sure. You know, but like, people wanted Woody to stay fiercely loyal to his kid forever. But his decision to stay with Bo wasn't a betrayal. It was more a realization that his specific calling had shifted. Like, he's not, like when it says he's not lost, not anymore. Like, his identity is no longer tied to one single room or like one single kid. But he realized, like you said, he was able to like step out into something new. And it was really sad that he left all the toys that he had been with forever, but he had like finally come to grips with the fact that he truly had been lost since Andy. You know, he was excited to move into the new things with Bo. Wow, yeah. I mean, which is like, again, like we said at the very beginning, it's a really fun movie for kids, but like very deep themes if you're looking for them.
Yeah.
Which I always am. I always am. Which I can, now that we've talked about it, I can kind of see how like your mom might be a little apprehensive to watch this. I mean, it's very tender as a parent to watch this movie and think about it from these perspectives. Oh my gosh, can you imagine Frosting moving on from Joelle?
It will be the other way around, but yes.
Well, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you think this movie deserved the criticism that it got? Like, so many people are mad about Woody's decision.
No. They're wrong. I said that already.
They're wrong.
Or they don't have the emotional depth to like really understand why. Like
it what could have been an alternative ending? Him going back to Bonnie's house and just being in the closet? Like, I honestly don't see an alternative ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It completed not completed, but it finally gave Woody like the peace that he deserved, that he needed. Mm-hmm. Which he had to give up something to do it, but it was something that he was grasping on, that it wasn't his season anymore.
Yeah. Which you'll preach.
Yeah.
Grasping onto something from an old season. Trying to force something from an old season instead of just surrendering and being like, okay, something new.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll preach. Okay. Who is your favorite character from Toy Story 4?
You know the answer to that.
Woody?
No.
Your favorite character from Toy Story 4?
Of course.
Bo?
No.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. As soon as I say it, you're going to say it immediately. You're going to know immediately what it is.
Your favorite character, Combat Carl.
No. Combat Carl's gonna get played with.
It's not Forky.
It's Buttercup.
Oh, oh yes. The unicorn.
The tiny little unicorn that has the big manly voice.
Yes, he's like,
Says,
Dad's
Dad's
totally
dead for crime, so he goes to jail.
No, Dad's totally going to jail. I didn't know Buttercup. Okay, I'm sorry. I did not realize that. Well, I was like, is Bo? Because like female, like strong female character. I don't know.
No, I mean, obviously you have to love the main characters, but
Buttercup
is a great ad.
I also feel that way about Duke Kaboom. I thought he was funny. Like,
yeah,
doesn't take away from the main characters, but like really, really.
Yeah, Buttercup doesn't have any emotional storylines. He's just kind of a cheeky character.
He's just funny. He has all the funny lines. Okay. All right. The last thing I want to do before we wrap up this Toy Story episode, previewing Toy Story 5. I just want to know, what are you hoping for from this movie? Like, I mean, from the trailer, the whole idea is that this iPad or technology stealing play. Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, I love it. I see it happening, and it's so clear and it's so relevant.
I mean,
what are you hoping for from this movie?
I guess I don't really know. And again, this goes back to we're a little different with movies. I maybe see a trailer for a movie, maybe once, maybe.
Okay.
I like going to see movies with no context.
Okay.
No background.
Well, okay.
So I know a little bit, and I don't know. I think I might just not say a whole lot because I don't really know what I will think about it yet. But I am very excited because I know that it'll be written well. And
okay.
So I don't know yet.
Well, listen to my question though. My question's not about what do you think is going to happen. What do you think it's going to be about? What are you hoping for from this movie? Do you not want to have any expectations?
I don't want to have an expectation.
I
know that's kind of. I know it kind of blows your segment, but that's just kind of how I am. I try not to.
Well, thanks a lot for blowing my segment.
Tell me yours.
Here, I'm hoping that it reignites a love for imaginative play, like gets us back to the old school Toy Story where like playing with toys was enough. Because technology is such a sucker. I see it in our own kids, and I'm like guilty of it too. Like like relying on technology to just get a break. So I get it, but I think it'll be really, really fun to see it from a toys perspective, because that's what all these movies are from, a toys perspective. To see how it's trying to share this message of technology stealing play to kids, because they've got to speak to kids too. Like that's a parent message. Like, technology is stealing play. Like, we hear that all the freaking time. Like how bad screen time is. Blah 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 blah. I mean, I'm not a huge like screen time fan. I mean, we use screens. I'm not super crunchy and against screen time either. I'm just saying like we have a pretty balanced home life, I think, with screens, but I'm just saying I can see it being a relevant message. So it'll be fun to see how they tell that story to kids.
Yeah.
Because adults are hearing it all the time. Yeah. Okay. This I know you're going to have opinions about, and I might cut it out because it might be too strong, but let's talk about the power of the Swifties coming to the Disney World now. Like,
why?
Honestly, I know you have feelings about it. I mean, it's brilliant because the fandoms are so similar.
I think Bobby Bush should retire a day early.
So like the last thing he did was bring Taylor Swift in, which it was kind of fun to see her on the red carpet with her Toy Story VHS as an accessory, like getting autographs. I was like, I feel you, girl. Like that, like you're just fangirling like the rest of us over all these Toy Story heroes. I mean, I think it's brilliant pulling in like this other fandom. I mean, Swifties are crazy. I used to be one. I don't really call myself one anymore because I've just lost touch. I'm so irrelevant when it comes to being a Swiftie now. Like, I've lost so much touch. But I mean, I think it's brilliant to capitalize on it because Swifties will literally will blow up anything Taylor Swift releases. Like, it was the #1 song. I mean, it was back to the country route, so it's kind of like the whole Jessie
There's this
vibe.
whole thing, and that Ryan Tedder has said many times, and I often think about it, that the level of artist you are, the level you are, when I say level, I mean like level of influence, not level of talent. The level you are, you can release B or C level material and it'll still perform like that.
Yeah.
And so my problem is, it's not part of it's this feels like a money grab from Disney.
Hmm.
It doesn't feel like something that was strategic.
Hmm.
It was not a song that was written for the movie. It was not a song that was written.
Like it was written after
It
she
was
saw
written
it.
after it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sure, it can like play into it, but it wasn't like they wrote this song into the movie like they do with
When Somebody Loved Me.
exactly.
Yeah.
If we're talking about this franchise, or like how during the making of Frozen, Let It Go changed the course of the movie after they wrote the song because it was written in and it was part of the movie. They're part of the story from the beginning. So it's not that, but it feels like a money grab because they're just trying to get people that aren't
Disney people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, again, I don't have a problem with it. Studio's got to make money somehow. I'd rather than not raise our ticket prices to please shareholders for, Disney World ticket prices to please shareholders, whatever, that's fine. But I don't know, it just feels
Would you have felt differently if they would have invited her in to write for the movie?
sure because that's different.
Like you're writing for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than it's like, hey, I saw the movie and I wrote this fan thing. I think you should put it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my.
Wouldn't it be really interesting to know how that all came about? Like how she was like, I have this song I wrote after seeing the movie. Like, who does she call? Bob Iger?
And what are they going to say? No?
Right. Taylor Swift calls you and says, I have a song for this movie. Like, I was inspired by it. Like, yeah. Do you think it's going to be a credit? Has it been, does anyone know like where
What
it
do you
is?
mean?
Like, is it a credit song? Is it
I don't know.
Anyway. Well, I think it's
I would
pulling
assume it's
in-
not
I
part.
think
I would assume it's not in the movie because
It's
the songs aren't heavily used in.
Pixar movies.
I mean, some if they want them to be like that. For example, Brave, they're in a lot of that. It's written like a Disney movie, even though it's a Pixar
Yeah.
movie. But
I mean, they use a lot of Randy Newman songs. Like,
they're more for.
they're more narrative.
They're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Okay. All right. So I've asked you this about every movie. Now, this might be a little bit difficult. Who is your favorite Toy Story character of all time? I asked you for specific movies. If you say Buttercup is your favorite of all time, I'm going to be so disappointed. I'm just
I'm not
going
gonna
to
say
lie.
Buttercup, but it is one of my favorite deep tracks, for sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's hard to say. It's hard not to say Woody because you see such an emotional depth of him change from Toy Story 1 through the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it sounds cliche to just pick the main character, but also that's the reason that he is the main character for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, they write so much for him and to him.
Obviously, he's not the only one that grows, but he grows so drastically into like having this deep seated fear all throughout 1, 2, 3, and even most of 4. I mean, those fears are in a little bit of the same vein, but different veins through the first 4 movies. But then for him to finally, get that freedom at the end of 4 is huge.
Yeah.
And to like see
He's the most relatable too,
yeah.
I think.
if you let yourself relate to him, everyone can see themselves in Woody a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, I think I would agree. I really like Bo in Toy Story 4, because you see her kind of she's like like we said, she became Lost Toy. She got kind of gritty and like tough, but she also kind of closed herself off. And Woody kind of had to remind her about Molly and how it felt to be someone's toy. Like she kind of did what Jessie did a little bit, like shut herself off a little bit, but then kind of quickly comes around and like, okay, yeah, we gotta help this. We gotta help this Bonnie.
Yeah.
Get her toy back.
There's a good balance of
like she quickly switches and remembers what it was like to be there for Molly. Which since the podcast released the last episode, we have a Molly now, which is fun.
Which is
she's a
in
toy.
case anyone doesn't know, is absolutely named after Andy's younger sister, by Joelle.
By Joelle. Joelle named Molly before she even knew she was a girl because she thought little sisters should be named Molly, and we just went with it. Sweet little Molly Bell. Anyway, but I think I would agree, like overall, just because, I mean, like you said, he's so relatable, in so many different ways, no matter what you're going through. But I think a little bit like as a parent relating to Woody, because Woody kind of takes on this role of like, I'm going to be there for Andy. I'm going to protect Andy. I'm going to be what Andy needs me to be. Like, that's what in a way, what we're doing.
hmm
And that changes, and you have to let go. Well, and Woody goes through all those things. Well, this was great. Can't wait to hear you and Joel's thoughts after you see Toy Story 5, because you purposely didn't give me anything for your thoughts and expectations for Toy Story 5, which is
I didn't hold them back. I just don't have them
you just don't have them.
intentionally.
Intentionally. You're just going in. Okay.
That's how I do
Fair
movies.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks for talking with me about all things Toy Story for the last almost hour and a half. Well, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode to talk about all things Toy Story 1 through 4. I hope you enjoyed it so much as we enjoyed talking about all these fun movies. At the end of each episode, as you may know, I have a little blessing, a pixie dust prayer, if you will, that I hope will encourage you as you go about your day. May we stop striving to be the shiniest, newest space ranger in the room, and instead rest in the beautiful honor of simply being chosen. May we firmly root our identity in Christ, knowing that we don't have to earn our place or prove our worth to be deeply, endlessly loved by our Creator. May we bravely hold both the grief of a beautiful season ending and the joy of a new one beginning, without feeling like we have to choose between the two. May we open our hands and release what is finished, knowing that God is already standing in what comes next, ready to guide us into our next wonderful season. May we all resist the urge to pack our hearts away in a safe, self-preserving box when the joy-fear creeps in and when we are afraid of getting hurt. May we bravely step back out into the messy, beautiful reality of loving our people deeply, knowing that the Lord holds our hearts and that the joy of living fully open is always worth the risk. May we stop looking at our exhausted, overwhelmed, or broken pieces and believing the lie that we have nothing of value to offer. May we see ourselves through the loving eyes of our Maker, knowing that the Holy Spirit loves to redeem our most chaotic moments and give us profound, beautiful purpose exactly as we are. And may we quiet the loud, demanding noise of the world and the pressure to always have the perfect plan. May we learn to pause and listen to that gentle inner guidance, knowing that the Holy Spirit is a faithful, steadfast compass who will always lead us toward truth, clarity, and peace. May we faithfully show up and love the people right in front of us, even in the seasons where we feel a little overlooked or left in the closet. May we pour out our love without demanding the spotlight, knowing that the Lord sees every single act of service and honors our quiet, steadfast faithfulness. And may we gently loosen our grip on the seasons we so desperately want to freeze in time, allowing ourselves to fully feel the bittersweet ache of a beautiful chapter ending. May we surrender our children and our shifting roles into the Lord's capable hands, knowing that He holds their futures securely and loves them even more deeply than we ever could. May we boldly push back against the glowing screens that constantly demand our family's attention and fiercely protect the sacred, quiet spaces of childhood innocence and imagination. May we choose to be brave and push ourselves out of our comfort zones to make a new friend, have a difficult conversation, or just do something that seems plain scary. May we choose to stay deeply present in the tangible, messy, and wonderful physical world God created, knowing that true, face-to-face connection is a holy gift, and that these fleeting moments of unhindered play are far too precious to miss. Thank you so much for tuning into the Faith Stuff and Pixie Dust podcast. I really hope this conversation brought some joy and inspiration to your day and caused you to stop and consider how Jesus is revealing Himself to you through the things that you love, even Disney. No matter where you are at in your faith journey, you've got a friend in me here at Faith Stuff and Pixie Dust. See you soon. Bye.